Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to go over my choice for the Walking Dead TV show top 7 villains or antagonists thus far. And just to do something, I'm going to throw in number 8, which is going to be Dawn. And honestly, Dawn is really only on this list as a filler. Not too impressed with her or the way they developed her as a character. Half the time couldn't really tell if she was supposed to be antagonistic. I couldn't even tell what parts of her were supposed to be villainous. She really just seemed more confused about how the world worked. And the only reason I'm throwing her in here as an honorable mention is because she took the life of Beth. And I wanted to honor her in some way. Alright, so getting it started, number 7 is going to be the Inmates from season 3. Primarily Andrew and Thomas, because they actually were a pretty big threat for Rick and the group, and eventually led to the indirect deaths of T-Dog and Lori. They were pretty interesting. They right away butted heads with Rick, and you could tell that they were not about to lay down and conform to him. Thomas pretty much tried to kill Rick when he pushed him into the walkers, and for that he got a machete to the head. Nothing too special about these two, but they offered some entertainment. So, number 6 is going to be Merle. And before you get all crazy, I do love Merle as a character. The only reason he's not higher is because he bounced back from being a villain to a good guy a couple times. So, and the only reason he really ever was with the bad guys and the governor and whatnot is because he was left for dead and they took him in. So, what other choice did he have? He was obviously going to stay with these new people and do what they wanted him to do. And it sure didn't take much for him to kind of betray the governor and prove his loyalty to his brother instead. And then later he released Michonne and single-handedly tried to take on all of Woodbury. So, if that doesn't redeem him of being any kind of villain that he was, then I don't know what will. Still a badass character and one of my favorite weapons in the show of all time. Number 5 is going to be the zombies themselves. You just can't make a list of Walking Dead villains and not include the Walking Dead. Probably responsible for the most human deaths on the show. They really are a force to be reckoned with. We're 5.5 seasons deep now, and they seem pretty easy to handle, but you never know what's going to happen. Tyrese goes into a horde of them with a little hammer. They surround him, comes out alive on top, taking them all on. And then just to get, bit in the arm by a 9-year-old walker. That bites. Pun intended. You never know with these things. Number 4 is going to be Joe and the Claimers. Because to me, the Claimers were really interesting. And honestly, they would probably be higher on this list if they got a longer story arc and some more development. The reason they were such badass villains is because they were always villains. And what I mean by that is they straight up told Daryl that, before this, they were bad people. Before the apocalypse, they enjoyed living this ruthless, claiming, evil way. They liked the apocalypse better than they did their old lives. And they're unlike anyone on this list because of that. Everyone else was corrupted by the apocalypse in some way and made them act the way they are. These guys were just flat out always bad. Rape Carl and make his dad watch bad. They're bad, and they're just so simple but purely evil philosophy of taking what they want by claiming it is really interesting. And I don't know, I would have really actually liked to see them a little bit more, see them developed a little bit more. I think they could have done some really bad shit that would have got them higher. I just think they were interesting. And I also have a hunch that they are the ones that raided Terminus and turned the termites into what they are. So, You know, because they mentioned to Daryl when he brought up the Terminus signs that it's no longer a sanctuary. So, the guys kind of looked like it too in the flashbacks. I don't know, just a hunch. Number 3 is going to be Shane, and like Merle, I absolutely love the TV version of Shane. He was a really great character. I always wonder what the show would be like if Rick never made it back and Shane remained leader, or even if Rick did and Shane was just still alive. I'd love to see how he kind of deals with the struggles that the group faces in these recent seasons. I would love to see how he would have handled Woodbury, Terminus, Dawn, all of it so far. And the reason he's so high up is because just how great of a character he is and how great his descent into madness was. Because all these other villains, we kind of get to see them when they're already mad. With Shane, we kind of got to watch him descend into madness, which was interesting. And the reason he's not higher is the same reason for Merle, and that's because he wasn't always a villain. He wasn't. I don't know. He wasn't just. He had some ulterior motives and was going crazy, but he wasn't straight up evil. But regardless of any of that, he was a great character. He was a great villain. He was a great hero, whatever you want to call him. And he lives on in the show today through his daughter Judith. We don't know. We don't know. Number 2, and I know this is going to come to a surprise, but the Governor. And I know everyone expected him to be my number 1, and I don't blame anyone for thinking that. Wonderful actor, David. Really great character. In my maybe unpopular opinion, he is so much better than his comic book countertype. He was really badass, and like the producers, I found myself kind of hoping they would find a way to keep him on the show a bit longer, because I loved his delightfully destructive behavior. I loved how he was a classic sociopath that could just so quickly gain the trust of people and quickly become a leader of a group of people just so fast, I mean, he got 2 groups of seemingly normal people to brutally and violently attack another group of normal people. Like, he beheaded Herschel. He's got a goddamn eye patch and a trench coat. Like, he is badass. He's a cool character. Loved the Governor. Alright. And let's get to my number 1, which you can probably predict by now, is Gareth. Gareth is my number 1 because he was really interesting to me. He's a hunter and a cannibal. If that's not a scary villain, then I don't know anything about villains, and I shouldn't even be making this video. He was smart, engaging, witty, and the dude would eat you. Flat out, he would eat you in front of your face while talking to you. Like they did Dale in the comics and Bob in the show. Terminus was a very sick, violent place, and I kind of wish we saw more of the weird, ritualistic slaughter that was going on there. I kind of wish we maybe just saw a whole episode on other groups that wound up at Terminus and didn't quite get as lucky as Rick's group, or, weren't as badass as Rick's troop and survived, they were really interesting, and, all in all, its storyline was really short, but it hit really hard. Like, he was an intriguing leader, and especially because the apocalypse had a really gnarly effect on him, Like, he became a cannibal from it. And he straight up became a predator who captured his prey and ate it. And he was a small, little, smart guy. You wouldn't expect that, but it goes to show what the world's become. And I really think that type of villain defines The Walking Dead. It's always about how far gone are you, too far gone, or are you still have your humanity? And these guys are doing exactly what the zombies are doing. So they're all the way far gone. Where Rick right now is in the middle. He doesn't quite know how far gone he is. He's seen so much and done so much. Gareth and the Termites were all the way gone. And I think that really defines the show. And I really don't know how they're gonna, besides Negan, the Whisperers, I don't know. It's just, they were much gnarlier than I would have expected. I guess TV makes things crazy. Anyways, that's it for my list. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, and just for the fun, I thought an interesting villain that they could include or introduce and I actually kind of thought they were hinting at this for a second, would be maybe like a group of survivors, similar to the hunters slash scavengers, kind of just a rogue group of villain survivors, and who actually tamed a pack of wild wolves. I mean, a large, large pack of wild wolves, who they've trained. I mean, they're wild enough where they are wild animals and do what wild animals do, but they're trained enough that they can do the dirty work for these survivors. And I thought with maybe the wolf signs that we were seeing in episode 9 and of season 5, and the promo that seemed for the episode then, that seemed like it revealed wolves, but really it was dogs that they ended up eating. I thought it was leading to something like this, but I was wrong. And I just think like a cool group of small scavenger type villains who use wolves to hunt, kill, tear apart other survivors would be really unique, interesting for Rick and the group to have to face, and also pretty gruesome. I think that's kind of spice it up, a little bit interesting. I thought might be, something cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave some comments if you disagree or agree or want to see anything else. Thanks, bye.